Welcome to Craig's Gun Channel. This week we're going to once again revisit the Phoenix Arms HP22. For the money, this little .22 pistol is hard to beat. It's a surprisingly accurate pistol, especially when its price is considered, and even though they come with a lifetime warranty to their original owner, its simple design makes them easy to work on. In prior videos I've covered some modifications that can be made to this pistol, some barrel options, and how to repair the magazine catch should it break. I've also covered the pistol itself more in depth, how it shoots, and basic field strip procedures. A couple of weeks ago, I continued the series of videos with one that shows how to remove and reinstall the firing pin and its rebound spring, which may be needed for a detailed cleaning or if there's a parts breakage. Following that video, I received a request to do one on how to remove and replace the firing pin block. This safety works by physically blocking the firing pin from being able to travel forward far enough to fire a cartridge even if the hammer should fall. Generally, there would be no need to remove this part. However, being a mechanical object, damage or parts breakage can occur, so in this video I'll show how to remove and replace it. There's two part numbers associated with this should a replacement be needed. Part number 253, the firing pin block itself, and part number 242, the block spring. This procedure is relatively simple, and all that's needed is a .05 inch hex head Allen wrench. Let's take a look. And before working on any firearm, you want to make sure it is free and clear of all ammunition. Now, because of the interlocked nature between the magazine release and the safety selector, you want to go ahead and, we'll first go ahead and pull the slide back and lock it in place with the slide release and safety. So pull the slide back and lift up. We can then see the chamber area and it is free and clear. Now you can remove the magazine. The magazine is free and clear as well. We'll put the magazine back in, because you do have to have the magazine in to be able to move the lever down when we're ready to do that. The next step, to be able to take the slide off, you first have to take the barrel off. This is the barrel or the disassembly lever, and with this lever you basically push forward on it toward the front of the gun, and it's just the little black piece right there. Let's see if we can get in the light there. So you just push forward, and then the barrel can tip up and out. Now, the spring right there is compressed, and with the slide pulled back and locked in place, the spring will stay in place. However, when you go to take this off of safe to release the slide, that gap will open up, and at that point the spring could get away from you. So you want to make sure you cover up that opening and then take it off of safe, and you can then take the slide off. Here's our lock piece and spring. Go ahead and take the spring off for now. Set those aside. Then we have the slide itself. So today we're going to be taking a look at the firing pin safety right here and how that's removed. And just if you recall, currently this is in the safe position. So at this point, the back of the firing pin right here, if the hammer would hit that, this lock prevents the firing pin from being able to come forward far enough to fire the cartridge into the chamber face there. When this is in the up position, so the red dot showing, the firing pin could now travel its full length of travel to be able to ignite the cartridge. So, should you need to remove this for some reason to work on it, or maybe it's there's a malfunction or something with it, first step would be to remove the back cover plate. It's held in place with this small little Allen head screw. It's a .05 inch, so we'll go ahead and remove that screw, the retaining screw. It is longer than what you would think it would be. I'm not really sure why it's as long as it is, but so go ahead and take that out, and we have that right there. Now the back cover plate, you would need to remove that. Now it does hold the firing pin there, and there is a spring, so you kind of want to cover that as you remove the plate. Now the plate itself, it just slides straight down and then off. So go ahead and lift that out and set that aside. And then you can take out your firing pin, and the spring itself is in here. You want to kind of go ahead and take that out just so that it doesn't fall out inadvertently when you're you know, not sure where it's at. So we have all of our parts there. So now you also have access. This is a good time if you know, clean everything out while you're here. The little piece of wire there, it's kind of hard to see. See if I can hold that up here. And it's right there. And that's actually the back portion of a small piece of spring steel. It's like a straight wire spring. And that provides the spring on this lever, what provides the tension on it. And it's also what retains it inside. So you just need to get something that you can kind of poke at that and pull it out. Like so. And then once that's out, the lever itself will now just lift out. Now in operation, this flat portion here, depending on how you have this lever, whether it's up for fire or down to block it, when it's down, this section here will be in this orientation like this, and it actually will block the firing pin in this notch right here, and it blocks it from being able to go forward. When you lift up into the fire position, it is in this relation here, and see if we can see that here. It allows it to slide back and forth. It doesn't go into that notch. Now the little groove that's in this, that's what the spring itself goes into to provide the spring tension as well as to retain it in place. So reassembly is just the opposite. You would go ahead and put the lever into the hole. With the wire spring itself, there's two holes, orient it like this so that the top is up. The top hole is where the long leg of the spring goes. The bottom hole is where the short leg goes, and that would just hold it into place. So you just put the spring into that top hole. Like so. Then you can push it down. And then check for function. That works. And make sure it's pushed all the way in. Put your firing pin spring back in it. In the bottom of the big notch there, you just put it in the bottom. Then put your firing pin in. It goes in this orientation like this. The spring actually fills up this bottom section. So slide that in. Need to make sure this is in the up fire position, otherwise it does block it. That, you know how it works. And then make sure that this pushes all the way in. Your back cover plate goes into these notches right here in the slide. And then to push it all the way in, you would need to push the firing pin down. And then that should go slide all the way in. Take your retaining screw and put it in. And then careful not to cross thread anything. So it should turn in fairly easily. And then you want to tighten that down until it's flush. So at that point, make the screw so it's flush with the back panel, and our slide is now reassembled. So to reassemble the slide and the barrel and everything, first you'd start with your locking piece. It goes in just like that. Then you put your slide on. Once the slide's on, put your recoil spring on. It goes over the stud that's right there. It goes over that. And then you push in and forward, so against the front of the slide. Then hold your finger over that, because now you're going to pull the slide back. And you want to keep pushing that spring down. When the slide's pushed back, lift up on the slide lock. And make sure your spring is still pushed down and that's fully compressed. Now at this point, I'd go ahead and take the magazine out, because it's just easier to then visualize that bar where the barrel goes on, right here. And that goes into this notch on the barrel assembly. So you just line that up, push in, and then the barrel just pivots down until it locks in place. Make sure it's locked in. And at this point, go ahead and put your magazine back in. And you can take the slide lock off and then check for function, make sure everything works. And we're reassembled. I hope that this information is of value, and if you liked the video, I would ask that you hit the like button and subscribe if you want to continue to see more like this. And as always, until next week, stay safe.